From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
We made it past Christmas and now we're headed to the new year. I'm Annie Johnson, and coming up, I'll tell you how it's been for the Gallatin County Sheriff's deputies during this time of year.
Plus, as the president's vaccine mandates face a Supreme Court challenge, many U.S. senators are opposing the mandates. Coming up, learn how a Montana senator is siding with those opponents. Well, good morning, Southwest Montana. 6:31 now. Roads are looking okay, but it's very chilly this morning.
It is cold. We're not getting rid of the ice on the area roadways necessarily. That's kind of the rough part. Watch the bridges and overpasses. Those areas still dealing with some ice. There may be some ice on a few of the side roads. I know my subdivision is snow-packed.
And it was an icy drive this morning.
Yeah, we're going to have to warm up considerably to get rid of a lot of that snow on the area roadways on the less traveled roads. Temperatures this morning, 13 below in Belgrade, 4 below in Butte. Got a report from Ken, our weather watcher in West Yellowstone. He has 1 below at his house, shows 5 with the latest reports from our reporting station there. I expect more cloud cover today. Don't look for a lot of snow. The potential of snow developing during the overnight hours, so it could impact tomorrow morning. But we're talking light amounts. The main concern is the cold temperatures over the course of the next few days. Dress in layers. I'm going to talk more in depth about that, of course, coming up in just a little bit.
Awesome. Thanks, Matt. Well, some breaking news Monday evening. The Gallatin National Forest Avalanche Center is reporting that 2 snowmobilers were caught and killed in an avalanche on Scotch Bonnet Mountain to the north of Cook City yesterday. At the time of the avalanche, 4 riders were on the slope. 2 were able to escape. All 8 members of the group had rescue equipment. The avalanche broke 5 feet deep and approximately 300 feet wide on a southeast facing slope. Members of Park County Sheriff's Search and Rescue arrived to assist with rescue and recovery efforts. Investigators are still in Cook City. Well, law enforcement agencies usually increase staff and patrols around the holidays due to more people drinking and driving. But something else kept deputies busy during the Christmas weekend. MTN's Annie Johnson explains.
During this time of year, people usually like to visit with family. They don't necessarily want to visit from law enforcement.
So certainly New Year's and all of our holidays, we put extra patrols out there to make sure that people are doing the right thing.
Christmas weekend was relatively quiet. Well, Saturday was, but Sunday was pretty busy.
So we had about 44 vehicle calls for service over the weekend, which is a pretty high number for the sheriff's office. High patrol and then may get more at times, but 44 for us is pretty high. We also had the fatality accident over in Belgrade.
What about DUIs?
I think just 1 DUI, but that oftentimes is a reflection more of our guys being busy with other calls.
So weather-related incidents kept these guys busy.
Weather like this, conditions like this, the sooner we can get there, the safer it is for individuals. Some of the issues are not just traffic accidents, but you can't spend a whole lot of time in a snowbank in these kind of conditions.
While deputies are spending a lot of time with weather-related issues, that doesn't mean drivers who choose to drive under the influence get away with no problems.
Obviously, under the influence is never a good time. So we definitely do see less traffic during these kind of conditions, but the issues become that the road conditions are so bad that if you have been drinking, more likely end up in a ditch.
And the sheriff says there's too many alternative options out there versus ending up in a ditch.
There's so many options between Ubers and ride shares and all these things to get out there and do other things. Have a plan when you decide to go out and have fun with your friends. Make sure you have a plan, whether that's picking up an Uber ride or a Lyft or having a designated driver.
Like the sheriff said, it's always a good idea to have a plan to avoid meeting up with some deputies. Reporting in Gallatin County, Annie Johnson, MTN News.
Well, back to some pandemic-related news. As cases of the Omicron variant continue to rise across the country and the world, the Biden administration is continuing to encourage Americans to get vaccinated. But as our Joe St. George explains, the president's efforts to mandate shots are facing fierce resistance, not just with the legal challenges, but with new government policies in many conservative-leaning states.
The lines to get tested continue to get longer in this country. The United States is currently averaging around 214,000 daily cases and around 1,300 deaths per day. From the White House's perspective, getting vaccinated remains the best way to protect your health.
If you're unvaccinated, you're at a high risk of getting severely ill from COVID-19.
But President Biden's vaccine mandate and demand that most private businesses require shots or force their employees to undergo rigorous testing is continuing to face obstacles from state leaders. Vaccine challenge number 1, lawsuits over the mandates, mostly from Republican attorneys general. The Supreme Court, in fact, will hear oral arguments next week on January 7th regarding whether President Biden's order is constitutional. It remains unclear how the conservative-leaning court will rule. But while that legal fight has been brewing for weeks, another barrier is facing the Biden administration. Vaccine challenge number 2, unemployment benefits for the unvaccinated. Arkansas, Florida, Iowa, Kansas, and Tennessee now allow unemployment benefits to those who are fired from their job over refusing to get vaccinated. Lawmakers in other conservative-leaning states are expected to push for similar moves in the new year when state legislatures convene. Usually when someone quits or is terminated for cause, they aren't eligible for unemployment assistance. Now, unvaccinated Americans in some states have access to aid, undermining again the vaccine push by the White House. Many liberal-leaning groups say this is an attack on public health and are encouraging Congress to intervene to protect unemployment. However, a majority in the United States Senate currently oppose President Biden's vaccine mandate, including Montana's Democratic Senator Jon Tester, who has called it a, quote, burdensome regulation. In Washington, I'm Joe St. George.
2021 brought a new Democratic president in Congress, big off-year state election wins, a major attack on the nation's seat of democracy, and the most consequential challenge to abortion rights in decades. CBS's Natalie Brand is in Washington with a look at this year's biggest political stories.
The U.S. Capitol came under attack 6 days into the new year as a mob of supporters of then-President Donald Trump tried to stop Congress from formally certifying the presidential election results. Lawmakers scrambled to take cover. Many hours later, calm was restored and lawmakers finished their job. The Capitol was on lockdown for weeks before and after Inauguration Day. In the place of crowds, thousands of flags honoring the lives lost to the pandemic lined the National Mall when Joe Biden was sworn in as the 46th President of the United States.
I, Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., do solemnly swear.
So help me God. Kamala Harris made history as the first woman and first Black and Asian American to become vice president. Former President Trump broke decades of tradition by skipping the inauguration.
We will be back in some form.
Weeks later, the U.S. Senate voted to acquit the former president on a charge of inciting the January 6th assault, ending his second impeachment trial. President Biden got his first legislative win less than 2 months into his term. Congress passed the American Rescue Plan COVID relief bill in a party-line vote, aided by 2 new Democratic senators from Georgia. In November, he had a bipartisan win, signing a long-awaited physical infrastructure bill into law. But his massive social spending and climate bill is stuck in the Senate, weighed down by party infighting, while partisan divisions held back attempts to push through voting rights, police reform, and immigration legislation. The landmark 1973 Roe v. Wade Supreme Court decision legalizing abortion hangs in the balance, with the Supreme Court set to rule by next summer on a Mississippi law that bans the procedure after 15 weeks of pregnancy. The High Court declined to block a Texas state law allowing citizens to sue anyone who facilitates an abortion after about 6 weeks of pregnancy, while challenges continue in lower courts. California Governor Gavin Newsom invoked the Texas abortion law in his campaign as he successfully fought off a recall election in his state. New Jersey's Democratic Governor Phil Murphy narrowly won another term. But Republican Glenn Youngkin's big gubernatorial win in Virginia has some Democrats on edge heading into the 2022 midterm elections. Natalie Brandt, CBS News, Washington.
Now, historically, the party in power in the White House loses seats during the next midterm cycle. At least 36 members of Congress have decided to retire or not seek re-election at the end of their current term, which may complicate the political calculus heading into the 2022 midterm elections.